What's up, family? I am your guy, Benjamin Seven, and this is TCC, where we talk about truth, culture, and community. Yes, we back again to put that work in. This gonna be light work today. I can promise you that. Because apparently, somebody want to keep coming to the city and talking bad and showing how racist and ignorant they are. The title of this video is What the Hell Happened to Ohio? Episode 1, East Cleveland. So if this episode 1, I'm sure this gentleman, Nick Johnson, is going to continue to come here and spew his ignorance. But I came today to help him and people like him out. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to East Cleveland so that we can have a sensible perspective. We are getting ready to do just that, but before we do, make sure you give this video a like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that post notification bell so you can be caught up on all the content we produce, because this is what we do. A little bit of context. Racism equals ignorance. Ignorance equals racism. Let's go.
What's happening here?
I'm about to help you out.
This place?
My ignorant one.
This place is terrible.
No doubt.
What the? God. Okay, so I've been to a lot of places, and the stuff I do.
Hey, really quickly, listen to Nick's tone. It wasn't enough for him to objectively cover something he didn't understand. He showed his racism in the tone of his voice. No respect for what he doesn't understand. No respect for black people whatsoever. Check it out.
Cleveland is like nowhere I've ever seen. There's a vibe there that is, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. The danger zone,
I wonder why.
The crime zone, the poverty area back there. Mm-hmm. I've never really seen anything like it. It looks very third world. It looks abandoned. It's actually really sad.
I'm gonna help you.
I've been to a lot of messed up and rundown places with terrible poverty and the worst crime in the country, and I'm rarely intimidated. There was something about East Cleveland that didn't sit right. Maybe it was the reputation. I mean, it's widely known as a no-go zone for pretty much everyone in the area, and it was certainly the way it looked. But it was a feeling.
So why are you there?
Energy on some of the back roads of East Cleveland.
Exploitation,
made me feel
maybe?
unsafe, exposed, and at times doubting my decision to go back into there.
You shouldn't have came.
So this is East Cleveland. I'm going to get to the terrible parts in a bit, but before we go there, we have to understand why we're here. This is St. Clair Avenue, one of the main drags through what's become one of this nation's worst drags. But you know how this story begins, right? It wasn't always like this here.
Right.
Going back to 1950, there were 40,000 people here and things were jamming. This was the most densely populated Cleveland suburb back.
EC was popping. Remember that. EC had it going on. Let's see why.
Then, up until the late 60s, East Cleveland was known as a stable and well-run city. Many people here made a fortune in iron ore, coal, steel, shipbuilding, and railroads. This place was a mini boomtown during the Second Industrial Revolution. But then demand for American manufacturing declined. This place went to the shitter. In the late 60s, real estate prices crumbled, and then the black population moved in.
No, real estate prices crumbled because black people moved in. Let's talk Nick Johnson and people who think like him. He said at one point in the 50s, EC was booming. Guess what happened? A few black folks got a piece of the pie. They call it moving on up. And then what happened after that? White people moved on out. Have you ever seen them? This is why this area is so bad. It's very simple. Once black people obtain the things that white people think they don't deserve, white people leave and sabotage the area. It's very, very, very simple. Ask yourself why Haiti is the poorest country in the world. No, don't ask yourself. Ask the United States and France why Haiti is so poor. Why? Because Haiti won their independence and whites didn't like it. So they sabotaged the same way whites did East Cleveland. They took their little businesses that they didn't work hard for. Let's not forget that this country was stolen. Yeah, took their stolen goods, left because black people moved on up. Cut it out, Nick.
In 1960, East Cleveland was 2% black, but by 1980, it was 87% black.
Why? Because whites don't want to live by blacks. Not because blacks aren't good people. It's because whites are ignorant and racist. No, that's the same thing. And it's not all white people, but most of you all are ignorant, which makes you racist. You don't know your own history. You don't care to hear what your ancestors have done to put black people in the position that you think is so bad and so sad. You don't care to acknowledge that, so it makes you a racist due to your ignorance.
Making it the second highest black population in the nation. Today it's 93% black, and the city's population is less than half of what it was at its peak. There's 17,000 people living here now, living in conditions that on many blocks look third world. Look at this place. It's only 7 miles from Cleveland. 40% of the homes in this city are vacant.
Not even in East Cleveland. This is Cleveland he's in. He don't even know where he at.
Almost half the population here lives in poverty.
This guy is truly ignorant.
And more people continue to trickle out of town for a better life.
Do you see these blue signs here? That indicates Cleveland, sir. You are in Cleveland, entitling the video East Cleveland. You see what I'm saying? Ignorance isn't bliss. Nick, you don't know any better. You should not come back here, man. This should be the final episode of you being in Cleveland, because I hope this video spreads. I hope it goes viral. I hope everybody in Cleveland see how truly racist and ignorant you are, because you exploit bad areas for money. Oh, that's another thing that your people do. They use black people for monetary gain. If the area is so bad, don't bring your little scary self to it. But no, you know you're gonna make money off of it and further spread your racist ideology. No, your ignorant ideology. See what I'm saying? How they go hand in hand. But what else goes hand in hand is black poverty being caused by white racism. Yeah. If you see some black people doing bad, it's because white people wanted it that way. Let's have the real conversations today.
One recent report said this is the 4th poorest place in the country.
Why?
It's only the 4th poorest?
Why?
There's even worse places than this. Households here earn under $20K a year. That's the whole house, which is about $1,600 a month. That's one person on average working at McDonald's. And only about 1 in 10 people here went to college.
So since they didn't go to college is the reason that the city is the way it is. Nick, you trying to play black people, man, and you are truly showing how ignorant you are. I'm not gonna call you dumb, but you teetering on that line, man. You're going from ignorant to dumb. You're really showing your level of education, and I'm sure that you went to college.
East Cleveland schools performed terribly. This is home to just about the worst district in the state. Here's one of its recent report cards, all D's and F's. And they're laying teachers off every year because there's just less kids in town. They can't justify keeping staff on in schools that have classes.
This is East Cleveland, sir. Thank you.
And dangerous isn't even the right word.
Thank you for actually making it there.
One headline referred to crime in the area as like war numbers. 17 murders in a city of 17,000 people means, well, 1 in 1,000 people here was murdered.
And seeing the amount of resources in that area, what do you expect people to do that are living right on top of each other with no resources? Obviously, there's hatred, animosity, hurt, and pain, and it's going to be spewed to those who are right next to you. Duh, Nikki. 1 murder in 1,000 people, you call that bad? That's not bad. It's not good, but it could be a lot worse.
Last year, 1 in 1,000.
Ignorant. In the inner city, getting paid for talking about our people. Leech. I'm gonna start calling you Robin Leach.
Here's the worst of it. This is Chapman Avenue,
Here's
right
the
off of
worst
the main
of it.
road in town. Nobody officially lives here anymore, but there's a lot of foot traffic in this neighborhood, and you can bet these houses are used for squatting, where terrible and heartbreaking things happen. Tons of people who live here say it's disappointing to see East Cleveland.
It is. But see, listen, there are some whites who have money on top of money on top of money who say they love America. Why don't you all use your money to rebuild it? Oh, no. We're not going to rebuild these areas because black people live here. That further shows your ignorance and racism. Continue to show it. Y'all act like y'all not racist. Y'all act like racism is the furthest thing from reality today. I mean, it's 2021, people. I don't have a racist bone in my... Yes, you do. Come back and fix what you messed up. You're not gonna keep blaming it on us. We didn't leave it like this. You all sabotage areas when blacks show up. Let's keep it a buck.
East Cleveland the way it is today. You think?
Do you think? Not much.
Cuyahoga County, where East Cleveland is, they've set aside $50 million to tear down large parts of town like this. I mean, this is only a small part of town in one little pocket of the city. There's tons of places in Ohio that look like this.
Why? Ohio was a predominantly white state until blacks start moving in. Come on. They take their little businesses, they take their little resources, and they say, we're leaving you blacks behind. You're not supposed to be here. How did you get a good job and live on the same street as me? Showing y'all racism and ignorance.
They've only torn down about 150 homes in the area so far, but then the money ran out, so places like this are going to have to wait to be raised and forgotten about.
And Nick, maybe you don't understand, but you are recording your ignorance and racism for all people to see. You better hope a day don't come when you have to answer for your views towards black people. You're going to be in a bit of trouble, buddy.
Raised and forgotten about. Right now, there's so many homes in East Cleveland that need to be torn down that they're only getting the ones that are high priority, meaning the ones near schools or on streets where there's families. I mean, you can't knock them all down, right? The average home here is worth about $36,000, and you could buy a home here for like $10K, but you can bet there's a ton of tax liens on them, and you'd be lucky if there was any plumbing and wiring left in the place. I mean, with the price of lumber, it would cost more to board up the buildings than the buildings are worth. Back in 1910 and in 1916, Cleveland tried to incorporate this place, but East Cleveland said, no way, we're going to be an independent city.
He's saying this as if East Cleveland is run by black people. East Cleveland was run by whites. Still run by whites. They may have a black mayor or something, but they don't have any power to do anything. Who the heck who owned East Cleveland? You think a black man owned East Cleveland and said, no, we just want to be independent. We want to stay to ourselves. That's white ideology. White people like to segregate. They don't want to incorporate with Cleveland where they know blacks are. Hey, it's time to admit you all are ignorant and racist. If you admit it, you can learn better. You can do better. You can be better. But hang on to that ignorance if you want to.
Well, 100 years later, they're wishing they had taken Cleveland up on that, because in 2016, they tried to get annexed into Cleveland. But Cleveland said, no way, we don't want to take this on. We're broke enough as it is.
Oh, how the tables
we can afford
turn.
to help you. So East Cleveland continues to trudge along as an independent city.
My people trying to do the best they can with they've been left. But people like Nick come through here with their racist undertones and speak upon it like they know what's going on. You don't. You should probably get out of town, Nikki.
Just trying to keep its head above water. One time, not too long ago, East Cleveland's last working ambulance broke down, and a nearby community had to donate one. That is just so sad. Is this place even able to be saved? Like many of this country's terrible places, it was a large number of jobs lost that caused the big decline. But looking around, I don't know if these people even want to work or can work. I don't think they can even get a good job.
Oh my God.
Are they smart enough?
Oh
Can they
my
even
God.
pass the drug test?
Hey, yo, my people. This is how 95% of white people think of us. If this does not annoy you to the point where you get your stuff together because they think we ignorant and we can't pass drug tests and we're too stupid to get good jobs, I implore us to start businesses and do really, really, really well. It's time to establish our own means of income and separate ourselves from ignorant, racist people like this. Once we build up wherever we are, trust me, they're going to want to come back and hang out. But they can't, because this is how most of them think. Let's get on our stuff and not only show them, but show ourselves who we truly are. Nicky has brought in his racist friend, and after him and his racist, ignorant friend get done speaking, we're gonna shut it down. But I just want to put the cherry on top. Let's go.
How was your experience there?
I've been intimidated very few times while driving in bad areas in the country. I think
that's a lie, Nick. My discernment tells me you're sweet meat. You're not really with it. You wouldn't ride through East Cleveland without a firearm. I bet you that. You wouldn't ride through the inner cities without a firearm in your hand on 911. Let's keep it a buck, Nick. Black people makes you all scared. And it's due to your ignorance/racism.
Camden was pretty intimidating. Parts of Gary. East Cleveland is on another level from most of the ghettos I've seen. And sometimes you happen to go into the right neighborhood in a bad town.
Thing.
Sometimes you may go to the right part of town, meaning like it's not the worst part of town, so you don't see the true hood. But there were some parts of East Cleveland that I was like, I did not feel
he was
safe,
scared.
that were
he was
like
scared. I didn't feel safe. Oh my God.
The community
not safe.
Where,
oh my God.
You know, you turn a block and
blacks around.
You don't know where the end of that goes, and the streets are just messed up that like you're driving over glass and rocks and debris, and you can't see over the weeds in some of the yards, and it's just like it felt like I was not in America in some parts of East Cleveland, especially the Chapman Road. Have you seen Chapman Road?
I kind of avoid the east side, the whole east side of Cleveland.
Like why?
You know, like even the trendier areas, you know, like trendy
where some black
like
people gonna be
like to hang out. I went over there. I've been over there before, and I was like, this isn't even. I have no desire to be over here
because of your ignorance and racism.
Part of my job when I was in public accounting was going to like clients. I would go into like apartment buildings and kind of check them out and look for ways
we're about to get out of here after
depreciation by like reclassifying assets and stuff, like really super exciting stuff. But I had a client over on the east side one time
where blacks live.
Got off on the wrong exit and had to drive through some like pretty rough areas
where blacks live.
And let's just say I had the doors locked and my hand was on the center console ready to draw my firearm if I needed to. It was pretty rough.
Yep. You heard that? He rode through where black people lived. And he had his doors locked and his hands on his center console ready to draw his firearm if need be. If you did not know, this is why unarmed blacks are shot. Because police are scared. Just like this ignorant/racist white man. Nobody was doing nothing. Nobody was thinking about him. Nobody cared that you riding through the city. We don't care about you. But he cares about us, obviously, so much so that he had his hand on the lock and his other hand on the console. How are you driving, racist, ignorant man? How were you steering your vehicle? Both hands were placed somewhere in case you needed to shoot a nigga. For those of y'all who are a little bit squeamish, it's okay. Trust me, that's what he was thinking. He just added an ER. This is the problem. Ignorant / racist whites spewing their ideology and messing up the world. Why do you all hate us so much? We don't hate y'all. It's small fries to us that whites are here and they outnumber us. So what? We gonna get to it. We've been getting to it since forever. Wherever we go, we get to it. And for some odd reason, whites get upset. I'm starting to think that whites are inferior to blacks. Because if you weren't, you would not ride through where they are, where they have been left for dead, and have your hand on your firearm ready to shoot somebody who ain't thinking about you. That is ignorant. That is racist. And oh, let me add one more. That is plain evil. That's why we got so much police brutality, because these police sign up, quite frankly put, to shoot a nigga. That's all they want to do. Because they are ignorant / racist. I am your guy, Benjamin 7, and this is TCC, where we talk about truth, culture, and community. And truth is, Nikki, you on the clock. Yeah. Keep riding through here exploiting my people with your ignorant / racist behavior. Hey, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like this. Give it a thumbs down and let me know why. For my people, it's time to wake up, man. This is what they really think about us. When they see our faces, this is exactly what they think. We ain't no good. We come from areas that ain't no good, and we ain't never gonna be able to do nothing and make something of ourselves in society. This is what they think for absolutely no reason. No, excuse me. They think this because they are ignorant / racist. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that post notification bell so you can be caught up on all the content we produce, because this is what we do. Much love, much respect. Nikki, you are on the clock.